Ladies and gentlemen, it is opening day. You are live with Dagger and the Jimmy J. It is our favorite time of the season. It's a national holiday. It is opening day for baseball. We have a 5-game slate today. We are hyped up. Like, all the aces are on, all the studs are on. Everyone has a chance at the World Series starting today, except the Baltimore Orioles. They're going to be absolutely terrible again. Dagger, what's going on? Are you ecstatic?
Jimmy, I'm ready. The wait
That's
for this
right.
day since our Boston Red Sox won the World Series last season. Ready to jump back into it. Ready to crush today's early slate.
Amen, brother. So we're going to take you through the 5 early games. We know it's close to lock, so hopefully you're with us for it because obviously you got to wait for them to lock in them lineups. It sucks doing it without that. We're going to go like position by position today with you. Starting with the pitchers, we're going to work our way through the infield to the outfielders. I'm a big guy about stacking the aces on day one. Going to be a lot of low scoring, I'd like to think. And if you're going to go with studs, you got to find room for like the studs or the seasoned veterans that you know have a great chance to show out on the first day. If Dagger's looking ready, we can jump on in the pitchers.
I'm good, Jimmy. I'm good.
We're going to let you guys know we do check the weather. We have a clean slate, good weather. You don't have to worry about any rainouts or nothing today. The only place that's raining is Toronto, but they got the dome, so they're going to be straight. We're going to kick it right off with pitchers we like. Obviously, there's a ton. Like, all the aces are on the mound today. You literally can't go wrong with any of the top 4. Scherzer, DeGrom, Nola. Apparently isn't the best opening day guy. Seems to take him a minute to get going, but he's playing the Orioles. Like, how do you like? I can name you like 3 guys on the Orioles that are actually going to like produce this year. Anything you have, Dagger, for us with our starting pitchers?
Yeah, I really like some of the guys up top of the board. You know, you can't go wrong with Scherzer, DeGrom, Nola, and even Tanaka against the Orioles, like you said. But the guy I'm really looking at is Jordan Zimmermann today against Toronto. At Toronto, Zimmermann had a pretty decent spring, and he's getting the opening day nod today with new manager Ron Gardenhire. But he's a guy I think he's going to give me some value, and I'm going to plug in today against Toronto, who is without their best player, Vlad Jr., even though he's only 19. But he could give you some innings and some strikeouts.
Yeah, okay, I like him as well. I was thinking about Chacin from Milwaukee, but that St. Louis really revamped their offense. I'm definitely going to overspend on pitching today. I might take a shot on a guy like I don't know if it's Mikolas or Mikolas. He always seems to go out and keep the score low. He earned the starting nod this year. Pitching wise, I'm huge on Nola, even with that Atlanta offense. They're at home. Their entire team is revamped. And you got to remember, you get points for the wins, and wins are huge. It's a good little booster for points.
Yeah, this afternoon you're going to see some guys go 6 or 7 innings. And to your point with wins, you're going to want a really really strong starter that's going to go the 6 or 7 because early in the season you don't see guys going all 8 or 9, and you don't really want to get a guy that's not even going to get to the five inning barrier for that win. So try to pick guys that are going to get you 6 or 7 strong, keep you under 3, strike out 7 to 10.
But yeah, if you're going to buy someone, I definitely like Stroman. That Detroit lineup is kind of rebuilding. They have a couple studs, but they're more of a team that I'm going to want to face against the left-handed pitching. The Tigers I feel like they crush lefties. So no worries today.
Yeah, I'm not huge on Stroman today, but his stuff is great. He just hasn't been able to put together a dominant season. Maybe today he could get you some good value with a stack of a stud, but
exactly. I mean, we could talk all day about DeGrom and Scherzer, but they're like locks on day one. It all depends on who you think's going to kind of win that game. You can always double stack them. It's going to be a low scoring affair, I think. Do you have anything else on pitchers? It's pretty straightforward today with the pitching. With the matchups and opening day.
Yeah, I haven't found too many sleepers in this slate.
All right, then we're gonna slide on over to catcher. It's another thing. It's gonna come down to I'm kind of looking for dudes that are not facing like the studs of the studs, if you know what I'm saying. A guy like Real Muto or Sanchez is a great play if you want to spend up. Personally, I like Grandal a lot. It's not great defensively, but the dude mashes. He's gonna. I mean, catcher is always we kind of play. It's like almost it's a home run or bust. Like we'd rather pay low on a catcher and see if he can show out. Another guy I really like is I think he's a rookie this year, Jansen from Toronto for 3,400. Kind of like a low, cheap play. We're always huge on Ramos. Ramos was our dog last year, but against Scherzer, I'm probably going to look elsewhere. Anything for you for catchers?
Yeah, you got Real Muto coming off the top, and the only reason I even suggest him at that 4,500 price is because with this lineup Philadelphia has, he could come up at any point with runners on and give you some production. Sanchez against Cashner doesn't have a really good career, but he's in the same boat as Philly. He could come up at any time with runners in scoring position. But a guy I really like today is Yadier Molina batting in the fifth spot. He doesn't offer a lot of power, but he's been pretty good on opening day in his past seasons. And against Chacin, I think that maybe he could come up in a position to give you two to three hits and drive in some runs.
Yeah, no, I'm huge on that. Batting order comes into play a lot for some of these guys. It just kind of gives you like an enhancer for their stats. They might go, RBIs, runs. Sometimes you gotta get what you can out of catchers. And with the four dudes batting in front of Real Muto, you really have to like the play if you're going to spend up somewhere. Again, even though Grandal's batting seventh, I like the matchup. I feel like he's a better lefty hitter than he is righty, so I'm all about him facing a righty today.
Yeah, I think Realmuto is one of the better guys, and I think you can swing some value on that kid Jansen or Molina and Grandal.
And catcher's just tough. You just if you almost have to spend up, and it comes down to just the lineups and stuff. But what was I going to say? Catcher's just tough. I usually spend low on catcher, but day one with all the aces, I got to go somewhere where I feel safe with the play.
Yeah, catcher's a position where you're looking for 5 to 8, and anything over 8 is like a great day for you.
Exactly. You just got to get lucky and hit that one dude that just happens to go like 2 for 3, hits the home run. I mean, home runs, it's unreal how much a home run's worth compared to other points in DraftKings.
Yep.
Do you want to slide over to first baseman?
Yep. Catcher's pretty
I don't want to speed
straightforward.
through it, but I want to give people enough time to block in
Yeah,
lineups.
no, it's a pretty straightforward position today, nonetheless, at catcher.
First base, man, a lot of studs at first base. We keep talking about stacking this Yanks lineup at home against not even one of, probably the worst team in baseball. They're going to be right there with the Marlins for just trash this year. Luke Voit batting fourth in that lineup for 4,500 is a great play. I'm never going to say no to you spending up for a guy like Rhys Hoskins. Freddie Freeman's a stud, but against Noah, I'm probably going to go somewhere else where I feel like I have a better chance to earn some points out of it. Going down here, a guy I really like that's cheaper. He's just been crushing the ball all spring. Justin Smoke at home in Toronto. The ball loves to fly in Toronto. What do you have for me at first baseman? Anything else?
Yeah, value-wise, Smoke looks pretty good. I mean, you can get Mancini, who's a Baltimore Oriole that you don't like anyways, but he's had some good success in the middle of that lineup. At the top, though, I don't know how I can fade Rhys Hoskins. I mean, he's like 5 for 13, I think, in his career against Tehran, and I'm going to continue to talk about this Philly lineup. If they get rolling between Harper and McCutchen and Hoskins and Segura and Remuto, you can go on and on, but they're going to smash. And Tehran on opening day, I'm surprised that Atlanta went back to him because he's always had some struggles against all these guys. So I could see Philly just pouring it on today.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty big on the Phillies and the Yanks lineup today. I just think they have great matchups. Philly, I feel like they're just going to be hyped up, man. They have such high aspirations for this year. I think they just come out just swinging.
Yeah, but right before you move on, I don't think we should not mention Paul Goldschmidt. He's a middle of the road price, batting second in the new Cardinals lineup. Just got a big contract, and he's a guy that can absolutely smash. So we can't really sleep on Goldie this year, especially this
Yeah,
afternoon.
no, I like Goldie. It almost worries me. Like he started off so slow last year. He's had a great spring, but I don't know. I guess last year's freaking me out a little bit with him.
Just gotta close your eyes and let it fly.
That's right. We want to keep going on first baseman. We sliding on to second.
Nope, a lot of power there, but pretty straightforward plays.
Yes. All right, going on to second baseman. Yeah, I went first. Last like three. I'll let you get in some picks first this time.
Yeah, some value this year is Mike Moustakas, who re-signed in Milwaukee, and he's going to hit six today against Mike Mikolas. Um, Going down, Brian Dozier is going to make his Washington debut against DeGrom, and he's always a guy that you're like, all right, well, there's a good pitcher out there, I'm going to fade, but for some reason he's good at crushing good pitching. Uh, a guy I really like today is Josh Harrison, who has a good career numbers against Stroman, and he's leading off for Detroit, so he's going to get you at least four at bats. So that's a positive. And at the top, Gleyber Torres. He's batting eighth in that Yankees lineup because there's seven better hitters than him in the eyes of Aaron Boone. But he's actually had a very good career stats against Andrew Cashner.
Yeah, no, you got love Torres today. Another dude, I'm always huge on him. He's not the biggest power guy, but he always seems to get on base. He can steal bases too. He's batting seventh because of just the lineup, but I think that could be a good thing if there's going to be people on in front of him all day. Cesar Hernandez, he's just one of my favorite plays every time. Love the call on Josh Harrison. He's just one of them, just Swiss Army knife dudes that just does a little bit of everything. And even though he is super cheap today, he's batting third. It is Scherzer. Robinson Cano just always seems to show up at the right time. If Scherzer does have any weakness, it's that sometimes he serves up the long ball, and Cano is that guy in that lineup that can do that.
Yeah, I like that call. I really like Scherzer on any game. So that's just
9 out of 10 times, I'm not picking a dude if Scherzer's going up against him. This is not worth it.
yep. That's kind of how I played today's slate.
We can slide on to third base if you like it.
Yep. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, no, third base, no, it's almost like it's a new power spot. Like third base has always been good, but lately we just have so many studs at third base these days. Matt Carpenter started off last year finished off last year amazingly. I'm really big on Carpenter. I don't know about today. I think he had some problems throughout the spring. Another guy, I can't believe that Philly has Josh Donaldson batting second, but someone was saying they have some absolute stud just like awaiting, and I think AAA for the Braves. And Donaldson, just if he doesn't show out, they got to move on from him pretty quick. I can't believe they gave him that money.
He's an MVP. JJ can't hate.
Oh, you can definitely hate.
Yeah. Looking through this, obviously you got your lock plays of Carpenter, Donaldson. I think today could really show out in Atlanta's lineup. Before I get to somebody I will plug in, but as I got to the bottom, I saw Brandon Drury against Zimmerman, and he's always a guy. He got traded to the Yankees from Arizona, and then he moved on to Toronto because of injury. But he's min salary today at 3,000, and he's actually leading off against Detroit. So maybe, oh man, you get 4 or 5 at bats out of him. And I mean, I like I said, I like Zimmerman a lot today, and I don't like Toronto in general. But at min salary, he might be a guy you could plug in on his GPP in a tournament, and he could get you some big points. With that said, my play of the day for third, and I'm locking this guy in. He's a former Red Sox, and he's actually crushed since he got here. Is Travis Shaw in Milwaukee? I mean, this guy's just a machine. He had 33 homers last year, and Milwaukee made a playoff run, and I don't see them slowing up at all.
Yeah, dude, love Shaw in the fourth spot. That's a game that it depends. It's two pitchers that if they're on, they're going to be on, but if they're off, balls are going to be flying all over the field. A guy that I like, he had his ups and downs last year. Again, I'm trying to avoid like the absolute stud pitchers on this slate. I'm willing to take a shot on Jose Candelario for 3,200. He's batting fourth. Like I said, the ball flies in Toronto. He finished off spring really strong, so I might give him a shot. Or Jaime, not Jose. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Love the Colin Drury though. Only 3,000 lead off. Like I said, the more at bats you get, the more chances you have for points. Any way to get on base, score a run, be surprised. Like points add up slowly in baseball if you're having a good day.
Yeah, and salary you can move around today and get a couple pitchers at the top.
If that's it on third base, want to go to shortstop?
Sure.
Yeah, get us going on shortstop.
Okay. Where I went with this was a little interesting because wasn't really in love with the higher guys. Uh, Turner against DeGrom, and then Torres falls into the shortstop spot. Segura, he's another guy who's in Phillies lineup against Tehran. He's batting second. But who I like a lot, oddly enough, is an Oriole, and it's Jonathan Villar. And the reason why is he's facing a sinker baller in Tanaka, and he's third in the lineup. So if he can put the ball in play, he's also got stolen base potential, and he's a switch hitter. So I don't see this game staying close between New York and Baltimore. But if it does, I think Jonathan VR is going to be really in the mix there. And sort of, kind of can understand why you would play Paul DeJong today, because St. Louis's lineup has kind of got some juice in the middle, and he's batting third. He's going to bat in between Ozuna and Goldie. So you really can't go wrong at 3,500 batting between those two. And the rest of the guys down bottom, I'm not really in love with. I don't see any value plays that can get there.
Yeah, I'm not crazy on the bottom half of shortstop. Shortstops, it's kind of become a thing where they focus with the fielding more than so the hitting. That's just how it's kind of come. Defense is taking over big in baseball, and again, like a guy like Swanson has his days, stuff like that. But I'm just not going to pick him against Nola. It's not worth the upside. I think I'm going to pay up a little bit today. I'm looking at a guy like Segura, great contact guy. He's got three absolute beasts batting behind him. I don't know if they'll have him steal bases with them behind him, but he's always a threat to steal bases.
Yep.
Trey Turner's always a great guy. He is going up against the reigning Cy Young, but Trey Turner's a guy that can turn it on at any minute and have a wild game.
Yeah, Trey Turner's value really comes with games where he steals bases. He's 7 for 25 in his career against DeGrom, and DeGrom's not the fastest guy in the league to the plate. Granted, Wilson Ramos will be back there, and he's had a decent career against stolen bases. But if Turner gets on, you have definitely a high chance for one steal, and he's the kind of guy that wants to take third base here and there, especially early in the season to spark the team.
Yeah, no, huge on that. You want to move on to outfield? Gonna have a lot of
Yeah, this
outfielders.
is this is where most of my stock is this afternoon.
Me as well. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna spend up for a guy like Aaron Judge. You can have your pick. I'm pretty sure Bryce Harper has literally homered in like 3 or 4 straight opening days. Like, dude just comes out and puts on a show opening day
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single
I didn't want to take that from you, but Harper's in my lineup, no questions asked. He crushes Tehran, he crushes opening day, and he's in Philly, which I've been telling everybody around. That Philly right field is kind of like hitting in a New York right field, and Harper's going to have a huge season if they can put Hoskins or somebody behind him to keep him from getting walked and pitched around. So today I'm all in on Harper.
I love it. Guy I'm not on, like I said, I'm saying stack the Yanks. Another guy I like, he's batting leadoff. He's a seasoned vet, always finds his way on base, has a little bit of pop. Yeah, I have to think he's going to score a couple runs. I got Brett Gardner in there. He's just I think a great cheap play to build other places. I think he's coming in at like 3,600. He's batting leadoff in that lineup. Another guy, he was my dude last year, Teoscar Hernandez with Toronto. He's batting third. Zimmerman's not the greatest possible ace you could face day one. I'd like to think Teoscar comes out hacking. Um, Anything else you have? I mean, obviously there's a ton of outfielders, so
Yeah, as we go through this year, the outfield is going to be one of our bigger positions. We're going to have to kind of tone it down to 2 or 3 plays here. I really love the Gardner play. He's going to be a staple in my lineup this afternoon. I love leading off against a junky Baltimore team. As I go through the bottom, a guy I like is Ender Inciarte. He's another one he can get on base. He's leading off of Atlanta's lineup. He can steal some bases. Nola's very long to the plate. Trey Mancini comes back in. And Conforto is batting 4 in the middle of the Mets lineup against Scherzer. So he's a guy at 3,600 that if you think he's going to smash that home run you were talking about earlier, he's a guy that could. And 2 more where I snap it back to you. Adam Eaton against DeGrom is finally healthy and back at the top of Washington's lineup. So that's a guy you could watch. And my play of today is going to be Marcell Ozuna, who absolutely smashes Chacín in his career. I think he's like 6 for 12 with a lot of extra base hits. And I'm locking him in at 3,700.
I love it. I'm gonna say just one other guy. He's only 39 to he's batting leadoff. He hasn't had the best seasons in the past, but he's a seasoned vet. He had a really good spring. He's in that stacked lineup. You can't hate McCutchen batting leadoff either. Just just for the possibility of run scored and some extra base hits. You can always put it out. And again, just one more guy. I mean, even Herrera, he's batting sixth in that lineup. There's going to be people on at some point throughout the day, all day for Herrera.
Yeah, and I mean McCutcheon's one of my top guys. Lastly, maybe you can't fade Kane or Yelich depending on price, and maybe Ryan Braun. I mean Ryan Braun's been around for too many years at this point. He's just a plug-in at this point. You like Stanton today?
No, not at the start of the year. I feel like it takes him forever to get in. I think he's going to strike out like 2-3 times. Like I'm not even just saying that because I don't like the Yankees. I've been telling you all day, stack the Yankees. But Stanton is a guy that until I see that he's on the ball and he's sitting, because I think last year he had like the worst possible start. I think he has like the worst possible start every year. He's just never on the ball.
Yeah, he's kind of a midsummer guy.
Just looking at my lineup, I'm a little worried about. I mean, I have Tanaka just to have a better like build throughout the lineup, but I'm scared that they're going to turn over to that bullpen so fast. So I hope he's just out dealing and they don't just whip him out after 5.
Yeah, that bullpen's going to be risky to pick starters around all year because they're like 4 or 5 deep.
So I just hope that he's just like out dealing early and they let him go like at least 6. I forget. Do you get points for what is it, the quality starts?
Quality start, yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So that's got to be I think 5. So.
Anything else you have on this slate right now? Obviously, day one, it's hard to, baseball is such a streaky sport where, we're going to have a lot more update, more clear, kind of just going off the studs and matchups we like today. But obviously, if there's a guy later on in the year that's on a 5-game hit streak or he's crushing some dude all year, we're going to be able to focus more on that. Day one's just kind of a going with your gut, see the matchup, like the matchup.
Yeah, it's a very numbers-based sport, and if you find that secret stash where you can stack guys here and there, you can really put a lot of points on the board.
I heard that, my man. Anything else you got left for today? You pumped? Starting up in about 12 minutes.
Yep, super excited for first pitch. I got some games on here in the TV, and I plan on settling in and watching a bunch of baseball. My favorite team, the Red Sox, playing tonight at 7, so I guess I'm going to be locked here till 7 when they tip kickoff, and
Nothing wrong with that. Remember to check us out at Budget Baller DFS. This is the Penny Pinchers podcast. Check us out on Twitter. We're gonna crush today. We're done with basketball for now. I mean, we might still play some lineups, but we're not going to be doing any podcasts for that. It's strictly baseball now, and we couldn't be any more excited. Hate the Yanks, but stack the Yanks. It's going to be a good day. Beautiful down here in North Carolina. Hope Dagger's doing well today.
Yes, sir. Sun's out. Can't complain.
Yes, sir. We will be talking to you throughout the day. You have a good one, brother.
Later, Jimmy.